Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is day 19 and I'm shooting from Albany. I'm still staying with my brother and my newborn nephew Nicholas. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that's had a huge positive impact on my life, which is ayahuasca. It's played an essential role on my journey to healing, and I just want to talk about it. That way people can learn about it, educate themselves, and hopefully benefit from my experience with it. And it's something that I think a lot of people could benefit from. We all have underlying issues, and ayahuasca is a wonderful, intelligent tool that can help us do that in a more natural setting. So, last year I went to the Amazon in Peru. I went to a 12-day ayahuasca retreat, and during that time we had 7 ceremonies. And in a few days, I'm actually flying down to Ecuador for another retreat, but this time it'll be in the Andes Mountains. Obviously plant medicines or plant teachers, they've become a really huge part of my life. The same thing that, meditation or working out. They've helped me live a life that's more true to myself in a gentle, loving way. And it's just, I want to share that knowledge with you guys. Before I go on, I just want to talk about the preconceived notion that, ayahuasca is something that just hippies drink, just some jungle juice you drink and you just trip in and doing it for fun. That's really not true. Things like alcohol, tobacco, pharmaceutical drugs, those things, they might be legal and more socially acceptable, but they're not good for us. They're actually detrimental to our health, and they're just numbing agents. They're not actually healing anyone on a deeper level. And it's a shame that society frowns on natural remedies because people might not understand it. So I just want to say that, and also that you can't classify or categorize things like cocaine or crystal meth into the same category as, say, ayahuasca, San Pedro, or psilocybin mushrooms, because when you do that, you're being ignorant and you're saying that all drugs are bad. It's the same thing as if you were to say that all people of a certain ethnic group are more prone to committing a certain crime. That's not true. You cannot make broad, sweeping generalizations. So I just want to say that before people rush to judgment about these things, that they do the proper research and they educate themselves, because you'd be just doing yourself a disservice by not. And these ayahuasca could really help you on a personal, deep level. So I just want to say, when you're watching this video, please keep an open mind and an open heart, and just before you make your decision, research some stuff on the internet, and then make a decision, because you might find out that this is the right path for you. So what is ayahuasca? One of the translations is vine of the soul or vine of the dead. It's made in the Amazon with 2 main components. One is the ayahuasca vine, and then the other component is the chacruna leaves. So the main chemical compound in it is called DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine. And this is the element that gives it its special healing powers, that helps. It's a psychoactive substance, and it can be a hallucinogen. Your body actually produces it in the pineal gland, and DMT is a pretty common element occurring naturally in nature. The other element is called MAO inhibitor. So if we were to just ingest DMT by itself, our bodies would break it down, and it wouldn't really have an effect on us. But when you take it with the MAO inhibitor, what that does is it helps prevent the body or the stomach lining from digesting and breaking down the DMT. That way we can absorb the DMT in our body and experience it. So those are the 2 main chemical compounds in the ayahuasca group. It's all natural. It comes straight from the Amazon jungle. There's no synthetic stuff. It's not made in some pharmaceutical factory, and it's been used for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years in various South American traditions, such as the Shipibo tribe. It's been shown that ayahuasca can help like rewire your brain um, when dealing with these painful memories. It can help rewire the brain so you don't have these negative reactions when you think of a certain memory or childhood trauma. So that's one of the ways that ayahuasca, is used and can help people heal. So with physical health issues, society has a pretty standard way of dealing with that. I'll give you an example. I had an abscess on my ankle a couple weeks ago. I had to go to the hospital. They had to cut it open, drain it, and then give me antibiotics, through the IV for like 2 weeks. And then every day I had to go in and get it cleaned up and the bandage changed and whatnot. Thankfully, it's healed now. But how about things like mental or emotional pain? How do we handle these things? Things like PTSD, or if we have a broken heart, or if we went through a really painful divorce. Like, what if we have an addiction? How do we deal with these things? Society has a stigma about dealing with stuff like that. We tend to not talk about it, or it's kind of like looked down upon, and psychologists might just give you like antidepressants just to kind of make you feel better, but it's not really getting to the core of what's causing you this pain inside. And it's just masking it and numbing it, and it'll lead to things. It might lead to things that are unhealthy behaviors, such as gambling or doing drugs or finding ways to escape. So things like ayahuasca can actually help deal with these emotional traumas. It can help you get to the root and heal from it, as opposed to just being a quick band-aid fix. So that's one of the uses of ayahuasca, for people who are interested in working with this plant medicine. So last year was the first time I drank ayahuasca. This is when I flew down to Peru in Iquitos, and it was at a place called the Temple of the Way of Light. And to get there, we had to take a bus ride to the river, and then it was like a 45-minute boat ride, and then like another 45-minute to get to the place in the jungle where we were going to stay for the 12 days. It was about a group of like 20 other foreigners all together, girls and guys, and then at the place, you also have the shamans there, and they're the Shipibo people, which is the indigenous tribe. And it was three women and 2 men. So it was a nice mix of male and female shamans, also called like maestros or curanderos or ayahuasceros. And it's good to have that balance, because the male and female energies. Also for women, it might be more comforting to be around a woman, because there are stories where you have some charlatans who will take advantage of women while they're under the influence of ayahuasca. So it's nice to at least have a mix of men and women. The facilities itself, it's pretty basic. There's no power, there's no internet, there's no running water. You're living in it's called a tambo, which is just a hut. Luckily you have your own private hut. And yeah, they're actually really cute. It's just a bed, they actually have a toilet there and a sink, but with the sink you actually have to scoop it up with like a hand bucket to use it, and then with the toilet, like, you gotta throw wood chips on it when you're done. They do have showers, like there's community showers, and that's actually running water, but you have to go into the Maloka for that. I'll talk about the daily schedule next. So typically in the morning you wake up, you have a flower bath first, and that's where the shamans will take this water mixed with like flower petals and just wash you over. It's to kind of help cleanse you from like negative energies, and just to kind of like it's also get to like wake up. Afterwards we'll have breakfast at the community dining hall. All the food is grown there locally. It's organic. It's done in a sustainable manner. It's cool. They actually have a permaculture program there. And afterwards, you're just relaxing for the whole day, pretty much. Like, you're not doing anything physically exhausting. You'll also have lunch there as well. On days you have ceremony, you won't have dinner, so lunch will be the last meal you have. And then typically around, I think, 7 or 8, you go to the Maloka for the ceremony. The Maloka is like the big, round, circular building. And you go there for an hour beforehand just to kind of sit and, you can meditate or just kind of set your intention for what you want to work on that night. And just kind of look inside yourself and just ask like why you're there and what you're hoping to work on or deal with. So yes, around 8 o'clock, everyone will then go up individually and take a shot of ayahuasca. And then when that's all done, all the candles are blown out and it's completely dark. About an hour later, you'll start feeling the effects of the medicine. So yeah, the shamans will go around and sing icaros at that time. The next day, you'll have a sharing session to talk about your experience and to help you deal with any feelings, emotions, memories that might have come up. That's one of the most important parts, I think, of going to a retreat center, is because you have that support network, which is really, really helpful. I think it helps the healing process go a bit easier. Because if you're to deal with this stuff by yourself, you might not have anyone to talk to or let this stuff out. But when you have other people around you who might be going through the same stuff, it's helpful. And also, like, the people you meet there, you really form a special bond because, like, you're really vulnerable about past things that might have occurred to you, and to just talk about them and share that with people, like you're getting that connection on a deeper level, and yeah, like some of those people, like, they end up being like really good friends. I actually went to go see my friend Gabriel in Stockholm this year. We met last year, but yeah, it's these people are like, a lot of times you find out that they're into the same same books or same podcasts. They might have they share the same beliefs or whatever, or the same lifestyle. So it's you're with a lot of like-minded people, which is really cool, and that's one of the really big positives, I think, from going to retreat centers such as the Temple of the Way Light. So what is the actual ceremony like, or what should you know beforehand? The effects will be felt for I think 5 to 6 hours after you take it. I would usually sleep in the Maloka the whole night because I was pretty weak, and I just felt safer in the Maloka as well. So I was always the last one to leave in the morning. You'll hear the term purging, and when people talk about ayahuasca, and what that means is it can be you're vomiting, you might have diarrhea, or people are crying, or you might have laughter, you're yawning. These are all ways that the body is getting rid of these negative energies. They could, this is stuff that's physically manifesting itself outwards, and it's your way of releasing this stuff and healing. So that's what purging is, and it's different for everybody. I myself didn't purge that much. I was actually surprised. I was expecting a lot. But yeah, it's purging is the physical manifestation of all this negative, toxic stuff that's built up from over the years, and it's coming out. So it's a good thing. You're detoxifying. The shamans. So you'll be laying in a circle when it's all black, and the shamans will come up to each of you individually and sing an ikaro. Now, these songs, they're beautiful songs, by the way. You might not understand them because it's in a different language, but they're done to kind of also help heal you during the ceremony, but also to kind of help guide you during your journey with ayahuasca at that time, because maybe you're going through a really hard time at that point, but the ikaro might help soothe you and might make you come back to the present, so you're not really suffering. They can also be really beautiful things. The first time I heard the Icaros, I remember it was the 3 female shamans going at the same time, and I was just like, wow, they sounded like angels. And then the male shamans started coming in afterwards, and I was just like, it was a beautiful moment. But yeah, the Icaros are there to help heal you, basically, and they also have special powers. I guess you'd call special powers, in and of itself when combined with ayahuasca. They also say like it helps, like you. It's actually an essential part to the ayahuasca experience. You can't just drink ayahuasca without an Icaro. So it's good to have the shamans there for that, and you'll have basically 5 Icaros sung to you every ceremony. What else? All right. So ayahuasca is a psychoactive substance, so you may experience hallucinations, visuals. Some people they see snakes. They might have some scary things. They might see elves come out. They might talk to aliens or go to other dimensions. Everyone's different, and everyone's experience will be different. And you just want to keep in the back of your mind that ayahuasca gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. So some people I just want to say, just be careful when watching other people's testimonials on YouTube or reading blog articles, because some people might have the most like enlightening experience where they went to heaven and spoke to God, and it was just a really beautiful experience, and there was all these pretty colors. That might happen, sure, but like it might not happen. So don't set all these expectations for your experience, because everyone's gonna be different, and if that's what you just want, is just pretty lights and colors. I remember the director Sasha said, just turn on your laptop and put on the screensaver, because that's a better way of getting that. But it's more about a healing journey as opposed to this light show. For me personally, what my experience was is, like I said, I didn't purge that much, which I was surprised. In terms of like visuals, nothing heavy. I didn't speak to gnomes or goblins. But it's different for everybody. So just remember that ayahuasca gives you what you need and not necessarily what you want.